everybody, Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield here from Transport Evolved. Happy Tuesday. Yes, it's time for another thought of the day. But before I get on to today's thought, I just want to thank those of you who watched yesterday's video, which was on wireless charging for electric vehicles. Based on the feedback, it seems as though an overwhelming majority, like 90+%, think that wireless inductive charging is a little bit of a distraction when people should just be plugging their cars in using a conductive charger, simply and purely because of the inefficiencies inherent in wireless inductive charging systems today. Now, I've got to say that I am on the fence still somewhat because I am testing this wireless inductive charging system out downstairs, but I do have to admit I am erring towards the side of just plugging it in, partly because a cable can go pretty much everywhere, and if a wireless inductive pad is on the parking space and somebody parks there, you can't charge. Whereas a cable, worst case scenario, you can just route the cable around. But also to the person who told me that my garage is embarrassing and dirty and I should have cleaned up before filming it, sir, I am a mum, I run my own business, and I have 2 kids and 2 dogs. Yes, I do clean my garage on a fairly regular basis, like I try and keep my house clean, but lately it's at the bottom of my list. I'm sorry that your sensitive eyes were disrupted by the leaves and whatnot that were in my garage. I'll try harder next time. But what do I want to talk to you about today? Well, I want to talk to you about something political, namely the European Union, or rather the British exit from the European Union, and what that could mean for the electric car and green car industry. Already we're starting to see Nissan, that makes the Nissan Leaf up in Sunderland, at Nissan's Sunderland facility, start to get a little worried about the future of that plant. And it's already asked the British government for reassurances before it invests any more money in expanding that facility. Of course, the Nissan Leaf is made there, the Nissan Leaf that is shipped around Europe. There are 3 Nissan Leaf factories around the world, so Sunderland's only one of those 3. So it's not going to impact the whole world, but it might impact on the European volume of the Leaf, or in fact, Nissan may move it elsewhere. But what about the actual cars and the selling of electric cars in the UK? Now, as we already know, the UK is currently fairly generous towards electric cars and has been investing in infrastructure and also buyer incentives. But when it exits the EU, I can't help but wonder if some of the European Union emissions targets, the current Conservative administration has shown some disdain towards those, will be dropped, and Britain may lose the mandatory carbon dioxide limits it currently has signed up for in the UK. And also, it's worth remembering that the UK government is trying to support fracking and the oil and gas industry in favour of those to the deference of renewable energy schemes. We've seen so many solar panel projects, wind farm projects, the funding for those absolutely slashed in the last 3, 4, 5 years. And the Conservative government seems to be heading in that direction. It's giving massive subsidies to the oil and gas industry for fracking. And so it kind of makes me wonder if electric cars are on the chopping block now that the citizens of the UK have voted to leave the European Union. Of course, we should note here that the vote, which happened earlier this year, was very close, and had it been a few percent in the other direction, the UK would be remaining in the EU. I voted to remain, but most of my countrymen didn't. So, well, the majority of my countrymen didn't. And now I'm living in the US. I'm looking at this from a distance and trying to figure out what happens next for electric cars in Europe and in the UK. We already know that the Chevrolet Bolt, or Ampere E, is not going to be made in right-hand drive format. Are there going to be other electric cars that just aren't going to come to the UK because the manufacturers believe that the UK government's not going to support them? And what does this mean for charging infrastructure and those who want to drive an electric car in the future? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, as well as a thumbs up if you like, a thumbs down if you don't. I will see you tomorrow, and now I'm off to another busy meeting. As always, keep evolving.